Hello, in this week's episode we're going from Wellington to Picton and then down to Kaikoura. The weather was absolutely atrocious, but we did our best to keep filming. Went for a pizza, had some wine. Two Plonkers had such good fun.
Hello.
So yeah, we made it. We made it to the ferry. Hang on, I'll just put this up here. We are boarding at what time? 12:30. No, 1 o'clock actually. We're early. And it's now 12:15. Gorgeous weather. Look at the weather.
Yep. It's kind of windy out there. That's the only thing. So it'll be a bit of a rough crossing.
It's not a breath of wind.
Are you serious?
There's not a breath of wind. I'm looking. I was so happy that it was windy and he was right, because you might not know this, but in a former life, Bry was a meteorologist, and that's why he knows everything about the weather. Right, the price for the ferry from Wellington to Picton, I think we paid about $410 return for a car and two people. But Brian gets really bad seasickness, so it doesn't matter which sort of ferry we might as well just go on a plank sailing across the water, because we're never allowed to enjoy the facilities, because Brian just marches straight through to the top deck. And I was so hungry. Oh, that looks so nice. I was so hungry and I wanted to stop, but we weren't allowed to have anything to eat.
Yep, so we're in Wellington Harbour at the moment. We're going to go through Wellington Harbour, which takes you about 30 minutes to get out because it's huge. It's a big bay. And then you get out to the Strait, which is the most hazardous stretch of water in New Zealand, because it's between the North and the South Island. And so you get a lot of tidal shift through there and currents and things like that, and it's very susceptible to wind as well. And then we will come into the Marlborough Sounds and head on down to Picton. So it's a beautiful stretch. Hopefully the sun will stay out.
Brian is so right. This has got to be one of the most beautiful, beautiful trips you will ever take, ever beautiful ferry rides in the world. People just spend their time just looking over at the view and just really enjoying, just soaking in. Look at it, it's just gorgeous. You know, only really a big fat pig would sit and spend the time on that beautiful ferry ride eating a portion of chips. Oh, I wonder if you do the same as us. See that little house there? You can buy these little plots of land all around the Marlborough Sound, and they cost like between 180 and 200,000, and we just like fantasize what it would be like to just get away from everything and just like live off grid and just live there. It'd just be gorgeous, wouldn't it? Oh, and by the way, I've just got to remind you, so just warn you in advance, because I was taking all these videos, the battery went flat. And then when we pulled into Picton, Brian was like, oh, make sure you film us getting off the ferry. And I was like, oh, the battery's flat. So just watch Brian's face now when he tells you about that. So we are here. We're in the South Island now. We got off the ferry about 40 minutes ago. And we're driving down to our first stop, which is Kaikoura.
We would have filmed Picton, but the phone battery went flat because we filmed quite a lot on the ferry.
We just had this gorgeous weather window of blue sky on the ferry. We left Brian's phone in the car, so we were just on mine. And yeah, just as we were coming into Picton, the battery went. So anyway, the weather's a bit rubbish. It's a bit grey now, so it isn't the best light for filming. But you get to the South Island, the roads are empty as well, and we were just saying, we'll talk about this later, we were just saying it just feels so, you said it feels more established, didn't you?
It feels quite European, and because there's so many vineyards around. I mean, I know you can't see where we are now, but there's just vineyards close as far as you can see.
Yeah. So before we get down to Kaikoura, there's a few facts that I just wanted to tell you. In 2016, Kaikoura experienced a horrible earthquake, a terrible earthquake, the biggest one in New Zealand for 150 years. Sadly, 2 people lost their lives and there was lots of destruction and damage. So they're working really, really hard around the clock to build Kaikoura back up, and they're doing a fantastic job. So we have just turned up at our Airbnb, so I'm just going to give you a very quick tour of it before we just relax and have a cup of tea or a glass of wine. So here we are. Cup of tea. What you on about, Liz? Right, okay, here's our Airbnb, which was absolutely lovely. It was $110 for a night, which I think is just a bargain. It was so pretty. I don't know what we used to do in the days before Airbnb, honestly. They've made travel so much easier. This was gorgeous, so clean, yeah, just really modern. We didn't really get to test out the facilities very much because we arrived late and then, oh, look. In New Zealand, you can bring your own wine to some restaurants, and I was desperate to get a bottle of wine in case it was a BYO that we were going to. As it was, we went there and it wasn't a bring your own wine. Just look at that pizza. This was the best. Oh, Liz, you made the wrong choice. You had a burger. But it didn't matter because I just ate Brian's pizza with him. So, yeah. Oh, Bri, you're going to be on the Rennies tonight. Join us next time when we drive down from Kaikoura to Queenstown and Liz gets to interview Brian, who is obsessed still with the wind. So, what are your initial feelings about Kaikoura? What do you think when you're here?
Kaikoura, you're not going to hear me with that wind probably.
You're always going on about the sound.
The sound of the wind, what it is.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Speak up.
Okay.
Speak up, boy. If you enjoyed these videos, make sure you subscribe and hit your notification bell, and you'll never miss another one of our fabulous travel videos.
Hello.